All right. We'll do some more pictures here, Dad.
Okay.
So take a look at that. And that is when you took all your married kids to Hawaii. What do you remember most about that trip?
It was a great time. We all left our kids home. My kids left their kids home, and we all went to Hawaii for a week or 10 days. And this is where there was a huge pile of rocks, and I think this is, what was the name of that?
Is it Waimea Bay?
Waimea Bay, I think it was.
What about, how did you find that house that, we rented a house. What do you remember about, how did you find that house? Remember?
The one that we rented?
Uh-huh.
I called up stake president, and he was our neighbor when we had our home. And we sold the home as this before. And we had sold our home, and so we rented. Was this before? No.
I think this was after you sold your house.
Yeah.
We didn't have a place to stay.
We didn't have a place to stay, so he found us a house that someone wanted to use a place in Utah. And so I don't know if we ever worked a deal with him, but we rented the house for a couple of weeks.
Good.
But it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're talking about Hawaii, let me hand you this other photo. So this is going back many more years to when we were younger. This is probably in the 70s. So tell us about the bicycles, what you did with the bicycles.
We decided to, bikes were really expensive over in Hawaii, so we bought everybody a bike and shipped them. When we went, we took the bikes with us to Hawaii. So they were still in the box, and so we all had a real great time.
So it seems like we'd put the bikes together at the first of the summer, and then a few years. What did you do at the end of the summer with all those bikes? Do you remember?
We had one room for 2 or 3 years we just sold them.
Yeah.
And then brought new ones the next time we came.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then finally we decided, let's buy a house. And so we bought a home, and we stored the bikes in one of the rooms in the house.
Yeah.
And the house was set vacant during the year. We had a guest house behind the big house, and we kept caretakers in that house, and they kept the yard up and the house dusted and cleaned. And then we would go over, as soon as school was out in the summer, we'd spend a month or 2 there. And then during the year, I would usually go over a few times.
Yeah. Did we wear helmets when we rode our bikes?
No.
Never.
Jeez.
I don't remember wearing a helmet.
We forgot to do that. We didn't have seat belts for our car either.
No.
We had what was the name of that?
Mahari?
Mahari.
Yeah.
And it was fun. We all would ride in it, and it was all completely open. And we'd cruise around the island in it.
Yeah.
And
it's funny we lived through that, actually.
Boy, it was dangerous. I don't know. I didn't think about it.
No.
Anyway, we had a good time.
Where would we ride our bikes to? Do you remember? We'd ride them to...
We'd go up by the temple, and Jack would go into... You took off and went into Honolulu at one time.
We rode around the island once, the Scouts. Yeah, I took a ride. And we'd ride them over to the tennis court a lot,
Oh yeah,
play tennis.
yeah, we would play tennis a lot.
All right. Good memory.